like a still life, sitting somewhere on a ledge between reality and image. The Dolce Vita beckons towards you, in shiny surfaces, soft furs, and all the grapes your heart could desire. But it will always remain an illusion, just beyond arm's reach, like the mythical frescoes of Zeuxis, who is said to have painted a bunch of grapes so realistic that birds flock from the trees to try and peck at its surface. A feat only bettered when his rival Parrhasius painted a curtain so realistic that Zeuxis tried to see what was beneath it. The modern Rome of Federico Fellini's La Dolce Vita is similarly plastered with images, with ancient frescoes and Christian altarpieces blending seamlessly into the latest photographic development of modern life, the work of the paparazzi. Through their omnipresent lenses, the everyday is made more spectacular. Life becomes an art, the product of the camera making a city in its image. The opening sequence follows a statue of Jesus flying into Rome, looking over the transfiguration of the city brought about by the Italian economic miracle. It provides an update to an old print, Nadar elevating photography to the height of art, in which the early photographer takes to the skies in a hot air balloon to photograph Paris. In an observation that could equally describe the cosmology of La Dolce Vita, John Berger identifies the camera in this print as a new eye of God for the industrialized, developed world, terrified of the past, blind to the future, turning everything into spectacle until the act becomes so habitual that the conditioned imagination may do it alone. Beneath this gaze, the film explores the limits of a life lived almost inside an image, a world turned to spectacle through the eyes of Marcello. We follow him through the city, through disparate scenes in an almost constant motion, in pursuit of La Dolce Vita among the actors and celebrities who flock to the city, stopping only to worship before the devotional images and icons of the sweet life, as if in a painting, almost within reach, almost real, for a fleeting moment. Maybe he could best be described in the same way as Baudelaire's painter of modern life. Walking or quickening his pace, he goes on his way forever in search. This solitary mortal endowed with an active imagination, always roaming the great desert of men, with a nobler aim than that of the pure idler, to extract from fashion the poetry that resides in its historical envelope, to distill the eternal from the transitory. Maybe this is just what he tells himself. On his search for the sweet life, he takes refuge in the church of Steiner, a man likened by others to a Gothic spire, so tall that no voices can reach him. To Marcello, he embodies an intellectual life, something less shallow and fleeting than life on the Via Veneto, an ideal best represented by his taste for decor. A still life hangs on the wall of Steiner's apartment. It's a painting by Morandi, an Italian artist who worked mostly in the first half of the 20th century. His still lifes confront the view of different arrangements of ceramics and painted cardboard boxes. These anonymous man-made objects create a purely visual, physical reality. Steiner describes it as an art in which nothing is coincidental, in which Morandi's subjects are immersed in a dreamlike light, yet painted with such detachment, precision and rigour that you could almost touch them. The painting serves as contrast to the world he looks out to from his balcony. Around him he sees only an uncertain abyss, like these seemingly endless spaces behind the still lifes of Cotan, a dark curtain painted by Parrhasius that he can't draw back. As he confesses to Marcello, sometimes at night the darkness weighs on me. It's peace that frightens me. I fear peace more than anything else. It seems to me that it's just a facade with hell hiding beneath it. I think of what my children will see in the future. The world will be wonderful, they say, but how when a phone call can end it all? He states his vision of the sweet life, that we should live beyond passion and emotion, in the harmony found in perfect works of art. In that enchanted order we should learn to love one another, to live outside of time, detached. This detachment is a desire shared with the ancient Romans in their villas, to paint the walls with frescoes and draw the curtains to escape the dawn. It's a detachment of culture from nature, to create something under our control and understanding, a reality flattened to resemble a painting, free from depth and uncertainty, from passion and emotion. But this detachment is an illusion that shatters if you get too close, with the realization of what can't be captured in images. Only seen from a distance is the painting more desirable, more perfect than the real thing. In the image there's something we can never quite grasp, something outside the reach of time. Immortal, like the aristocrats, who, as Marcello comments, seem to have stepped out of a painting, with the same eyes as in the portraits of their ancestors. Steiner's ideal is a detachment from life. This is the closest Steiner gets to his painting. A crime scene photographed by the police, a tragic still life, or more appropriately, the Italian name for the genre, a natura morta. Steiner's attachment is the desire shared with the first photographers, to create an image equal to a painting, at a time when cameras could only capture corpses and ghosts. The oldest photograph of a person is thought to be in this picture of a street taken by Daguerre. The busy thoroughfare has disappeared in a blur over the long exposure time, leaving only a man having his shoes cleaned. It serves as evidence that the term still life is an oxymoron. Life doesn't stand still. The opposite of Steiner's still life is found with the paparazzi. It's as if, learning from Daguerre's mistake, they try to capture life in a flash, to produce images of constant motion. But these glamorous and mundane transitory moments, forever unstable with the illusion of movement, seem shallow, as if something has escaped that gives life its weight and depth. Ultimately, in trying to arrange life into an image before the objectivity of a camera lens, Steiner and the paparazzi both end up at the same place, unable to transcend this physical reality. Like the 16th century Protestant Reformation that saw the religious artworks of the Catholic countries as misrepresentations and reductions of a spiritual reality. It tried to reject the veneration of these images, but in creating the golden age of still life painting, only ended up replacing it with a veneration of the visible. But within these still lifes, there's always a suggestion of something beyond what's depicted, through the symbolism and arrangements of inanimate objects acting as mediums between us and the invisible. It seems counterintuitive to use an almost photorealistic level of detail to convey the invisible, especially so in Vanitas paintings, where the objective is to remind us that earthly riches won't follow us into the afterlife. These paintings seem to contradict themselves, preaching the disavowal of worldly goods, while at the same time celebrating the surface of things. But it may be, as Norman Bryson proposes, that this internal flaw is the point. The representation embodies its own vanitas. Faced with something still, flat, silent and detached, we are made more aware of our own inability to reach into the image. Held at a distance, across which no words can pass, the Dolce Vita seems to say something similar in its silence. To listen to the silence is to perceive the detachment of the image from reality, to shatter the illusion of living outside of time, the illusion of proximity to something that isn't there. As a priest says in the film, miracles only happen in silence. Taken to the room for serious conversations, or held on the other end of the phone line while speaking empty words, it becomes apparent that above all, Marcello is scared of silence, and the unnerving truth that belongs to it. The Dolce Vita is a caution against venerating images, hidden in a beautiful picture, a shallow world with an undercurrent, what the metaphysical painter de Chirico called the inhabited depth, how the flat surface of a perfectly calm ocean troubles us not so much by the idea of the distance between us and the ocean bed, but by the idea of all the unknown hidden from us in those depths. In this arrangement of disparate scenes, in the force of nature that is Sylvia, in the detachment of Steiner, in the immortal aristocrats, and dragged out from the sea onto the beach before us, in that strange, bloated sea monster, to me the film wants to say something similar to this painting, The Ray, by the French painter Chardin. It's a kitchen scene, a still life of a domestic interior. On one side, almost in a blur of movement, a cat is perched on a mound of oysters, while on the other, beneath man-made objects, bottles and pans, a knife balances on the edge of the table, wedged into a tablecloth, while above it all, looking over nature and culture, life and the lifeless, a ray, gutted, is hung up like Jesus on the cross, staring back at us with a pitying smile and a gaze that we'll never understand. A look that says, no matter what it might want to say, as a dead fish or as a painting, it will always remain silent. The ray has grown monstrous over 200 years, but it still has that same stare. Returning its gaze on the beach, Marcello is disturbed by how, even after death, it insists on looking. Like those objects in still-life paintings whose symbolism, if there ever was that intention, has been forgotten, while they still remain. La Dolce Vita is a film painted from life, drawn from the world around Fellini, and so it captures something about the time, not as a snapshot, but as a still life. It doesn't freeze time, or really tell a story. There's no implied image of the moments before or after. It exists in the ever-present alongside us, with characters like immortals contemplating their existence, forever silent and unchanging, forever just within arm's reach, forever unstable. As Marcello turns away into an uncertain future, the girl in whose profile he saw an angel painted on the wall of a church now turns to look at us. And in a miracle or an illusion, across time and space returns our gaze, to make the film a continuation of our reality, with a look that seems to say in its silence, it's faith that makes an image speak, cross-fading back without a word to delimit, like those frescoes painted to sit in their surroundings, unable to be contained by a frame.